Eagles Nation, the preseason is in full swing, and we are already seeing the first hints of who might not make it to that final 53-man roster. Every year, some names surprise us, others not so much, but this season feels different. Philadelphia is loaded with young talent, veterans fighting to keep their roles, and a coaching staff unafraid to make bold decisions. And right now, a few players are sitting right on that bubble, wondering if they're going to be part of the plan come week one. Let's start with Adoree Jackson. From a moment the Eagles traded for Jacorian Bennett, the writing was almost on the wall. This wasn't just about adding depth. It was a move that screamed competition. The timing is everything here. You don't go out and make a deal for a young corner with legit starting experience and world-class speed just weeks before the regular season unless you're looking to shake things up. And Bennett isn't just some long-term project. He's a guy who has already proven he can handle starting duties in the NFL, and he comes in on a rookie contract with plenty of upside. That is a very attractive package for a team trying to stay young, fast, and cost-efficient. Jackson, on the other hand, came in on a short-term veteran deal with minimal guaranteed money. His cap hit is small, and if the Eagles cut ties, the dead money is practically pocket change in NFL terms. That kind of contract is perfect for a front office that wants flexibility, but it's a nightmare for a veteran who hasn't firmly secured his spot. Add to that the fact that Vic Fangio hasn't been his loudest supporter. This is a defensive coordinator who knows exactly what kind of corners fit his system, and a lukewarm tone around Jackson tells its own story. The Tennessee Titans, who drafted him in the first round, decided not to give him a second contract. The New York Giants followed the same path. Now in Philly, it feels like he's once again on the edge of being replaced by someone younger, faster, and with more upside. The Eagles' secondary situation is fascinating right now because it's not just about Jackson. Ringo, who was a fourth-round pick not too long ago, is also under the microscope. At 6'2" and over 200 pounds with blazing speed, Ringo is built like the prototype outside corner. He's strong, physical, and in theory, he should be the kind of player you can mold into a starter. But in practice, his development has been inconsistent. He hasn't taken that steady, upward leap the team hoped to see. And when you look back at his college career, there were signs that this might happen. Had he come out a year earlier, maybe he's a day one or day two pick. Instead, he stayed at Georgia, faced elite competition, and some of those weaknesses were exposed. The Cincinnati Bengals game was a turning point. Facing one of the best wide receivers in the league in Ja'Marr Chase, Ringo struggled badly. He got beat on a route where his lack of lateral quickness was glaring. And it wasn't just him. Jackson didn't shine in that game either. But here's the thing. The Eagles have a brutal schedule ahead, full of top-tier quarterbacks and receivers. You can't have question marks at one of the most critical positions on the field. You need corners who can match up with elite talent and not crumble when the lights are brightest. That's why Eli Ricks suddenly becomes a real factor in this conversation. Ricks is young, cheap, and has already shown flashes of what he can do, both in his limited opportunities last season and in this preseason. Against Cincinnati, he made plays, looked confident, and showed that he might have the instincts and technique to grow into a reliable contributor. When you're deciding between an experienced player whose ceiling you already know and a young guy who might still be ascending, the decision for a front office like Howie Roseman's starts to tilt toward the younger option, especially when it comes with a fraction of the price tag. And that's why the Bennett trade feels so significant. If Jackson or Ringo had truly separated themselves in camp, if they had convinced the coaching staff that they were the answer opposite Quinyon Mitchell, Philadelphia wouldn't have felt the need to pull the trigger. The move for Bennett was essentially an insurance policy, and maybe even more than that. It was a message that the team isn't satisfied with the status quo and is ready to see if someone new can claim that spot. Bennett has that rare blend of speed and ball skills, and while he's not a proven star yet, he's exactly the kind of player the Eagles have been leaning toward in recent years. Young, affordable, and with room to grow. For Ringo, the challenge now is to prove he's worth keeping around. Yes, he's still early in his career, and yes, he's shown some value on special teams. But when you're a young player, you have to show progression. You have to take the lessons from your rookie year and translate them into noticeable improvement. The fact that he's been losing first-team reps to Jackson and Bennett is telling. It means the coaching staff isn't just going through a rotation. They're actively looking for someone to take control of that job. And so far, it hasn't been Ringo. The other layer to this is the financial flexibility. Ringo's dead cap number is low enough that if the Eagles decide to move on, it's not going to hurt them. This is what makes training camp and preseason so ruthless. For a player, it's not just about beating the guy in front of you on the depth chart. It's about convincing the team that your value outweighs what they could get from a cheaper, younger, or more versatile option. And right now, that's an uphill climb for both Ringo and Jackson. Philadelphia's defense is one of the youngest in the league, and the front office has made it clear they want to build around players who can be here for the long haul without straining the cap. Veterans have to fight harder than ever to justify their spots, and unless Jackson or Ringo deliver something eye-opening in the next couple of weeks, the numbers and the performance trends might both be working against them. It's the kind of situation that makes this time of year so tense for fans and players alike. On paper, Jackson has the experience, Ringo has the physical tools, but neither has locked down the role. Meanwhile, Bennett arrives with fresh energy, a favorable contract, and the kind of upside that makes coaches curious. That curiosity can be dangerous for veterans because it leads to opportunity for someone else. And if Bennett starts flashing in practices and preseason games, it could be enough to tip the balance completely. This cornerback battle might not be the flashiest storyline of the preseason, but could end up being one of the most impactful for the Eagles season. If they get it right, they'll have stability at one of the most important positions on the field. If they get it wrong, it could be a weakness that top offenses will attack all year. The margin between a starting job and a roster cut is razor thin right now, and every rep, every snap, every little moment in these preseason games is going to matter. While the cornerback battle is stealing a lot of the attention, it's far from the only storyline in this roster shakeup. The offensive skill positions, the trenches, even the backup quarterback spot, all have decisions looming that could have ripple effects deep into the regular season. And when you start looking at who else might be on the bubble, the picture gets even more interesting. Let's talk about A.J. Dillon. Now, on paper, Dillon's situation looks like the kind of cut that would shock fans, a veteran power back, a guy who can wear down a defense in the fourth quarter, the kind of bruiser every team seems to want in January football. But the reality is this might not be about what Dillon can or can't do on the field. This could simply come down to a roster puzzle, where the front office has to make the numbers work at other positions, and someone ends up being the odd man out. The Eagles' running back room already has star power in Saquon Barkley and rookie Will Shipley, and both of those guys figure heavily into the offensive game plan. If the team decides it needs an extra body somewhere else, maybe an additional tight end, maybe more depth along the defensive line, Dillon could be temporarily squeezed out, not because of performance, but because he's a veteran who doesn't have to pass through waivers. That's a key detail. The front office could release him, then bring him right back on the practice squad with a handshake agreement that he'll be elevated to the active roster when needed. It's the kind of behind-the-scenes roster gymnastics you see from smart organizations every year, and Philadelphia plays that game as well as anyone. Now, make no mistake, Dillon has shown he still has plenty left in the tank. In that preseason game against Cincinnati, he ran with that trademark physicality, but also with a surprising burst. For a guy his size, he looked nimble, able to plant and explode through a gap with real authority. That's the kind of dimension you want in your backfield when the weather turns cold and you're trying to close out games in December. The problem is the team's flexibility. When you're building the initial 53, sometimes you have to sacrifice what you want now for what you might need later. And let's not forget Dillon's contract situation. His deal is even cheaper than Adoree Jackson's, with a dead cap hit so small that it barely registers on the team's books. That makes him the kind of player you can move on from without worrying about the financial fallout. Another reason why he's in this precarious position. It's not that the team doesn't value him. It's that his value might come from being the guy they can let go and then bring back depending on how other roster spots shake out. From there, we shift to a very different kind of roster decision. Lake Vakalahi. His story is unique because he's not part of the regular roster math, at least not in the same way. He's on the team through the NFL's International Pathway Program, which is designed to bring in and develop players from outside the traditional American football pipeline. That means he doesn't count toward the 90-man camp roster or the final 53. In theory, that makes him safe. In reality, the team could still decide to move on if they feel there's another international player with higher potential. When Vakalahi was signed, there was excitement about his size, his athletic background, and the possibility of him following a path similar to Jordan Mailata, who went from rugby in Australia to becoming one of the best left tackles in the game. But Mailata's story is one of the most extraordinary player development tales in NFL history. It's not the norm, and while Vakalahi has been working, the film so far suggests his growth has been slower than hoped. Against the Bengals, his technique looked raw, and he was beaten cleanly on a couple of plays. The physical tools are there, but the instincts and in-game awareness, those things that separate prospect from players, still seem to be a work in progress. Another question mark is his position fit. The Eagles initially listed him as an offensive tackle, but in that preseason game, he saw snaps at guard. That kind of shuffling can be a sign the team is still trying to figure out where he belongs. And if you don't have a clear role by the time final cuts are happening, your chances of sticking long-term take a hit. Add in the possibility of bringing in another international prospect, like Carson Padu, who got a rookie minicamp tryout as a linebacker and edge rusher, and Vakalahi's hold on that slot feels even less certain. Then we come to maybe the most intriguing situation of them all, the backup quarterback battle between Dorian Thompson-Robinson and rookie Kyle McCord. Quarterback depth charts always get attention, but this year's competition has layers. McCord was one of the more interesting mid-to-late round prospects in the 2025 draft, coming off a season at Syracuse where he put up big numbers and showed a maturity in his game after transferring from Ohio State. He's got the arm talent, he's got the poise, and in rookie minicamp, he looked sharp. But camp is a different beast. Since the pads came on, DTR has been the one consistently outplaying him. Thompson-Robinson's mobility, quick decision-making, and familiarity with the speed of the NFL game have given him the edge. And here's the kicker. If the Eagles decide to keep just 3 quarterbacks, and one has to go, the odds of that DTR would be scooped up by another team almost immediately. He's put enough good tape out there that a quarterback-needy roster would take a chance on him, especially with how valuable mobile backups have become in today's NFL. McCord, on the other hand, might be more likely to clear waivers and make it to the practice squad. That's not a knock on his ability. It's just a reflection of how teams view younger, less proven passers. But there's a risk here. All it takes is one team seeing his Syracuse tape, remembering how he lit it up despite not having elite talent around him, and deciding he's worth a roster spot. That's the danger of playing roster chess with young quarterbacks. McCord's preseason debut was a mixed bag. The sample size was small, but the interception he threw was the kind of mistake you can't afford when you're fighting for one of the most competitive jobs on the roster. Still, you can see the flashes, the accuracy on certain throws, the ability to read and react when the first option isn't there. His confidence took a hit during his time at Ohio State, but he rebuilt it at Syracuse, and the results speak for themselves. Statistically, he was one of the top quarterbacks in the country, leading a program turnaround that had fans buzzing. That kind of leadership and production isn't easy to ignore. For fans, it's easy to see a cut as a rejection, but often it's just a calculated risk, a way of trying to maximize the roster's potential over the course of an entire year. The harsh truth is that talent alone doesn't guarantee a spot. Contracts, versatility, special teams value, injury history, all of it plays into the final equation. And as we move deeper into August, that equation is changing by the day. In the end, the guys who survive the cut will be the ones who not only perform, but fit into the bigger puzzle the Eagles are building. The rest will have to wait for another call, another opportunity, another chance to prove they belong. And in the NFL, that chance can come sooner than you think, sometimes as early as the next week, when the grind of the season claims its first victims to injury. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers have been circulating for days, But the latest buzz in the NFL world suggests that Tyreek Hill is on the verge of making a monumental move to the Philadelphia Eagles. Sources close to the situation hint that Hill, known for his electrifying speed and playmaking ability, has reportedly confirmed his intention to join the Eagles roster. While official announcements remain elusive, insiders claim the deal is either finalized or in its final stages, sparking an intense wave of excitement and speculation among fans and analysts alike. The potential arrival of Hill could mark a significant turning point for the Eagles, injecting the team with a dynamic weapon that could elevate their offense to new heights. With his reputation as one of the league's most dangerous wide receivers, Hill's addition could drastically reshape the Eagles' game plan, giving quarterback Jalen Hurts an even more potent arsenal to exploit opposing defenses. As the rumors continue to swirl, industry experts debate how this move will impact the Eagles' strategy and the NFL landscape as a whole, with many envisioning a team that suddenly looks much more formidable in pursuit of a championship. The buzz surrounding Hill's rumored transfer to Philadelphia has ignited conversations about how seamlessly he might fit within the Eagles' existing system. Observers speculate that his unique skill set, combining blistering speed with sharp route running, aligns perfectly with the Eagles' offensive philosophy. Team insiders hint that coaches are already brainstorming ways to maximize Hill's talents, envisioning creative schemes that utilize his ability to stretch defenses vertically and create explosive plays. This potential acquisition could also force rival defenses to adjust their game plans significantly, as Hill's presence demands constant attention, often requiring double coverage and opening opportunities for other receivers. The rumors suggest that Hill's signing might be part of a broader strategic push by the Eagles to reinforce their offensive firepower, indicating that the front office is aggressively pursuing top-tier talent to maintain competitiveness. Analysts speculate that if this move materializes, it could trigger a domino effect across the league, forcing other teams to reconsider their rosters and strategies in response to Philadelphia's newfound offensive threat. Speculation continues to mount regarding the financial and contractual details of Hill's reported agreement with the Eagles. While exact figures remain confidential, insiders suggest that the deal could represent one of the most lucrative wide receiver contracts in recent memory, reflecting Hill's elite status in the league. The rumored contract terms might include incentives tied to performance milestones and playoff appearances, underscoring the Eagles' confidence in Hill's ability to deliver game-changing performances. Financial experts analyzing the situation speculate about the salary cap implications for the Eagles, pondering how this significant investment fits within the team's broader roster management strategy. The whispers also point to possible adjustments in the team's supporting cast and salary allocations, hinting at difficult decisions ahead to accommodate Hill's contract. These financial considerations add another layer of intrigue to the unfolding drama, as fans and commentators eagerly await official confirmation to assess how this signing might reshape the Eagles' roster construction and their competitive outlook in the seasons to come. As the rumors intensify, many are speculating about the potential impact of Hill's presence on the Eagles' locker room dynamics and team chemistry. Sources close to the team suggest that Hill's arrival could inject a fresh wave of energy and confidence, providing a significant morale boost for both veterans and younger players. Known for his work ethic and competitive spirit, Hill might also influence the team culture positively, setting new standards for preparation and performance. However, some insiders caution that integrating such a high-profile talent requires careful management to ensure cohesion and avoid potential friction. The ongoing chatter highlights the Eagles' leadership efforts to balance the excitement of acquiring a star with the necessity of maintaining harmony within the squad. Fans and analysts alike speculate that Hill's presence could galvanize the Eagles into a more focused and resilient unit. But only time will tell how this high-stakes addition will play out behind the scenes as the team prepares for the upcoming season. Beyond the immediate team implications, the possibility of Tyreek Hill joining the Eagles has sparked widespread speculation about its ripple effects across the NFL landscape. Sports commentators and rival teams are reportedly scrambling to evaluate how this move alters the competitive balance in the league. The Eagles, already regarded as a formidable contender, could now emerge as a clear favorite in their conference, forcing other franchises to rethink their offseason strategies and player acquisitions. This rumored signing might also prompt a wave of renewed interest in trades and free agency moves, as teams seek to counter Philadelphia's bolstered offense. Moreover, the media frenzy surrounding Hill's potential arrival has captured the imagination of fans nationwide, fueling endless debates and hypothetical scenarios about how his speed and skill could redefine key matchups. As this story unfolds, it continues to dominate headlines and social media, creating an electric atmosphere that hints at a transformative chapter ahead for the Eagles and the entire NFL ecosystem. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.